Oh, you. So, a lot of bleeping right off the top.
Yeah, what the is going on here?
I know Brian was coming off a little hot, kids. I'm coming off a little hot. God, I am tired.
Is that hump day of the week too high for you?
What day is it?
It's the
Wednesday.
Wednesday. It's the hump of the days.
Ugh, you know.
Do you ever agree with that terminology, hump day?
I
Like,
think it's a weird, lazy thing, but whatever. I think society's a weird, lazy place to begin with.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
you
It's not.
know, you know, like man.
We're all a bunch of losers.
we might be hitting low hanging fruit, but it's that
Yeah.
low that you're not really having to even try. It's
It's
like the
very much.
lazy fruit to hit.
Yeah. I mean, unless the joke is, and this is like, you'd have to be really nerdy to be like, Wednesday is named for Odin, and Odin, much like Zeus, was a horn dog. So that's why it's hump day, because it's Odin. But no, we're just lazy,
That
and it's just like, oh, it's the middle of the week, so it's the hump. It's all downhill from here. It's like, yeah, sure, I guess, whatever.
that was like not your geek side. That was your nerd side, sir.
Yeah. That was my nerd
This
side.
is geek-tastic. This isn't nerd-tastic. What the fuck? No, I'm just
that was my nerd side. That was like my deep in mythology knowledge nerd side, being like, well, Wednesdays are named for Odin, whose real name is Woden, spelled Woden.
Excuse me while I clean my monocle.
Yeah. Please shut up, Brian. This is a geek show, not a nerd show. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me roll my D20 to bring myself back to my senses. Yeah, I'm just man. Today, I went into the office the last 2 days.
Oh man, how's that?
I know I didn't. You know what? I don't mind it. I gotta say, my office isn't that bad. It's not too hectic. It's not too packed. Shout outs to Lee J who's tuned in. What's up, King? And yeah, like it's definitely hard to get back into the office vibe, because for me it's more a factor of how bad the cases are getting here in Quebec again, in Montreal, and hospitalizations are climbing, and the government's not doing anything because they don't want to bring it up before the election in October, so they're kind of just outright ignoring it, and the rest of us are just being put at risk. My dad just tested positive today, so I'm checking in on him, making sure he's okay. Another friend of mine tested positive. Like, everyone I know is testing positive.
But the one now, it's not so bad in the sense that like it's more the throat it affects than it doesn't actually affect the lungs. It's more of the throat, unless it's changed again, the variant. But
I mean,
you don't know, right?
Anything that affects your respiratory system is not something you want to fuck with when you're past a certain age. That's more my thing. And the variants that we have now are affecting children way higher than they used to. Like, kids are ending up in the ER and the ICUs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, these are all things that they're just outright not talking about. The Quebec government's just like, we must protect the French language.
Oh, don't even, please.
I'm just saying, I'm only imitating the dude because that's what he's up to right now. That's where he stands. That's all. Them's the facts.
No, them's are facts, and those facts are stupid facts.
I know. I'm on the same page as you.
That technically break communication. You're not promoting communication. You're breaking.
I didn't mean to get you started. Let's move on.
I will just say this: fix your own home before you ask someone else to fix theirs. Stop using so many words. Stop using so many words. Anyways,
so Gremlins like to try and have sex with Baby Yoda. What am I hearing? Why are they trying to fuck Baby Yoda?
Okay, so
I heard Gremlins are trying to fuck Baby Yoda, and I was like, that is just unsafe. That's disgusting.
So Joe Dante, who's apparently the original director of Gremlins, is accusing, and I believe the word he chose was shamelessly, ripped off Gremlins, the evil, ugly characters of Gremlins, the very hideous one, not the cute one, the hideous one, except for maybe, I guess, the ears. I know at one point he was complaining that the direct ears of Gizmo and Baby Yoda are similar, which they are not. They're similar to a Yoda. I don't know Yoda's race, but Yoda's race's ears. But he says shamelessly ripped off his characters to create Baby Yoda. And just 3 points. Point 1, and you know what? I could double check it after, but all 3 Star Wars films were made before Gremlins came out. I'm pretty sure Gremlins, the last Star Wars came out in 84, I believe, when I was born. Yeah. 83 is when Return of the Jedi came out.
Yeah.
So 83, and then Gremlins was either like maybe later 80s, like maybe 87, I would guess.
Yeah, but he's saying Baby Yoda specifically, not Yoda.
But let's put it this way. What I'm trying to say is there's a precedent that, first of all, there's a chance that your characters are just ripoffs of Yoda.
Interesting.
So, like, if you're going to play that game, you just took Yoda, made him small, made a cute, hairy version of Yoda and an ugly version of Yoda. That's step 1. But step 2, it's like, when you're thinking about the concept of like creating a character, let's put ourselves in the booth of the Star Wars creative team's room.
Okay, so we're snorting a lot of coke.
Yeah, 100. Oh yeah, so much. Just because, like, there's just like we're rolling it. We're rolling it with $1,000 bills. I mean,
the new Star Wars or the old Star Wars?
Oh, the ones who made Mandalorian.
Oh, Favreau and those guys.
Yeah, let's go there for a second.
They're more drinking and smoking cigars. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. They're having
Lucas and those guys were doing coke. I don't know. 100%, allegedly, 100%. But still.
I mean, to get that anyways, hold this story. But hold this tension. But let's put ourselves in the writers.
Right.
What are the 2 discussions that likely happened? A, hey guys, we need to have a cute force wielding character, someone who's going to be a young child.
You're skipping a section. Disney has sent a memo to them. Now, read out what the memo says, because I feel like what you're about to describe is what the memo told them to do.
Yeah. You have the memo saying, guys, we're going to greenlight your Mandalorian thing. The only thing is, in order to sell this, you need to come up with a cute force wielding baby character that your main protagonist, your main antagonist, or whatever Mandalorian is going to have to relate his mission to. His long story arc is figuring out this child. In the room, is it either conversation A, hey guys, what are we going to do? We need a cute force wielding character. Or we're like, okay, which one's one of the stronger characters in our group? Well, we have, Darth Vader, Yoda, that cone guy. No one likes the cone guy's head. We've done enough humans. Is it a small baby Yoda, the cutest possible? Like, imagine Yoda as a baby. Wouldn't that be the
just
cutest
take
thing?
Yoda's features and
shrink them.
Shrink and then make the eyes bigger.
Yeah. And we can make it anime. Like, that conversation. Yeah. Or look, hey guys, you know what we should do? Do you ever see Gremlins?
Hey, you remember the Gremlins movie?
Like, what if we did this, guys? We took the Gremlins, we morphed them into one, so it's not. You shave them, and then we can just say that they're part of the Yoda race because of the ears.
That's a great idea, Dave. I'm Favreau. You're Dave. It already works out. Dave, this is why I brought you in, brother.
Yeah. So
sorry, I drank too much.
Conversation A or conversation B. Like, it's ridiculous. And the thing is, I know they're coming out with they're supposed to come out with a third one, and apparently it's in 2023. So obviously, I think this guy is probably saying this more to trigger people to being like, what is Gremlins? Oh, there's one coming out in 2023, because that's exactly how, by clicking onto it, I'm like, what did this, I was like, what is this guy even doing now? I click on the name. Oh, Gremlins 3. Duh. So shame on you for saying shame on them. That's what I'm going to say. You're rude. You're very rude.
Can I? One of the things that I looked up at the top of the show before we started, because you said you wanted to talk about this, and I'd mentioned to you, I didn't really care about this too much, but I'll be honest. After seeing this, one thing is when I was just like, okay, I definitely want to hear him rant, because I want to be able to mention this. 1998, December 22nd, New York. Is a gremlin like Furby 2? The answer is definitely maybe, given the undisclosed 7-figure sum that the toy conglomerate Hasbro has paid to Warner Brothers, the studio behind Gremlins and Gremlins 2. Upon reaching a settlement, both sides agreed to bury the suit that was filed soon after the Furby's fall debut. So Warner Brothers and this dude went after Hasbro for the Furby because they felt the Furby looked too much like their character. And it's just like, dude, if your idea is that any small hairy creature with big eyes and pointy little ears is akin to your Gremlins, I really feel like you need to understand every single thing in mythology, every single version of fantasy, that little creature with big eyes and pointy ears has existed in forever. You did not create this. You're just the guy who figured out how to monetize it in a really crappy 80s movie. And yes, if you're watching this, I'm telling you, I'm looking right at you guys in the camera right here. You know what? Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Dave, I'm gonna try and maximize myself because I really want to get it. I'm gonna maximize myself. Oh, you're even going off the screen. Cool. Folks, if you're watching this, understand that the Gremlins are not the OGs. That the idea behind the Gremlin is not original. These people are trying to trick you into thinking that you are being fooled by the Baby Yodas and the Furbies of the world. When I say no, I say the guys at Warner Brother and this director dude who has nothing else going on in his life are a bunch of weirdo losers who are trying to take advantage of the industry that has started to kind of give people copyrights and trademarks in ways that are almost impossible for anyone else to make anything almost similar. And that is going to hinder creativity because a lot of the art that we make is based on appreciation of the past, learning from it, and then recreating and then creating our own. That's how a lot of artists learn. So to the people at the Gremlin who are just trying to get some hype again because you have a movie coming out, you're a bunch of losers. And Gremlins is a shitty Christmas movie. It's one of the only ones that I'll say is a Christmas movie because literally the movie is about getting the Gremlin as a gift for the kid at Christmas. And even then, I still don't like it as a Christmas movie because it was a shitty movie. But anyways, I digress. All right.
I'll say this one. It's one of those franchises where technically the second one is way better than the first. But mind you, it's such a low bar. There's not much you have to hop.
I don't even remember. Dude, I do not remember the Gremlin movies. I watched them when I was a kid. And even as a kid, I remember thinking, this is not interesting. Like, I didn't find it interesting at all. I didn't find the little kid cute. None of that stuff. None of any of the things that were supposed to make me feel connected to this franchise, none of it worked. I was full on just, this is stupid.
I remember the first one, like as a kid, my initial was like, okay, there's a bit of scary moments, but like whatever. But there was never any form of rewatchability. The second one had some cool components because like it was the first one's like in their house in like kind of the town at best. Okay. You know, because like there's shenanigans happening around.
Yeah.
But the second one, when it happens, it's in a like kind of an office / lab building type thing. Okay. Like let's say like a pharmaceutical company type thing. Let's say something like that. So you had like a crazy scientist, like, because like in the second one, they're full blown on, like, can all talk and interact fully, like they could speak and stuff. And you had a smart one. You got one that became smart, and he just started transforming random ones. Like I remember one specifically turned into like a bat.
Is this real? Okay, so there's a sketch from Key and Peele where they do a whole segment about the writer's room of Gremlins 2, and people start throwing out ridiculous ideas like a Hulk Hogan one, one. Are those? I thought those were jokes. Did that really happen in the movie?
So there was definitely a smart one. There was definitely like a girl / how they made her look like, to be quite honest, especially since it was like the 80s. It was like
a lady of the night,
like a hookeress, obviously. Really they had a definitive leader who was like a kingpin type thing. And then you had clear like henchmen to a certain degree, and some of those henchmen were the ones that would turn into stuff. So like the one that I most vividly remember, because it's also because he was the coolest looking and how he like died was kind of cool, was there was one that would like he merged their DNA with a bat, so he grew like wings, and he was one of like the bigger henchman type guys, like you in a typical story, let's say.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting like trapped under wet cement, and when he flew out, he flew to the top of the building, and kind of like the wet cement froze, and he became a gargoyle. And I'm like,
oh boy,
especially back then, because obviously, like I said, it was 80s or whatever.
Yeah,
it was good graphics for then. It's not so much now. Like,
I'm amazed that they didn't sue gargoyles for having gargoyles.
Well, yeah.
What do you mean a character turned into a gargoyle? That's our original IP. You can't have
they
that.
Don't want to directly fuck with Disney. Like, this is a side Disney.
I know.
If you actually went out, like, Disney would bury them if they actually went direct.
Going after Baby Yoda is like a side hustle thing. It's just like, we can go after the Mandalorian. Disney doesn't care about this one too much.
You're getting my kid through marriage or whatever. I don't care about that one. Like,
So ridiculous.
Oh man.
Oh, Skinny. You made it just in time, because I was gonna move this up to the top. The brand is gone. Desus and Mero.
No, it's not.
The brand is gone.
The brand is strong because someone come along and take over, possibly myself. But
I mean, you're not going to be doing Bodega Boys, though.
No.
Yeah,
See,
exactly. So the brand is gone, and
no,
you guys will bring something better.
I wouldn't say that it's gone. I would say that this is
unless they sell it to you, homie.
Rumor has it is that they're not actually broken up. They're faking this shit to get out of their deal with what's it called? Showtime. And I wouldn't put it past them, considering how super sketchy the way they left Viceland. Like, you don't leave Viceland with the same name of your show.
Yeah, true.
Viceland should have taken care of that. They literally like, all right, we're out, and then came back like within a year or a year later.
Yeah,
clearly they breached some kind of contract clause. So I'm thinking they're like, listen, this shit's getting kind of whack at Showtime, and that's my only reason for thinking that. The only reason I would think that the brand is actually broken up, and then I don't really blame Anna Kendrick, but I feel like her ass has something to do with it.
Why is everyone blaming Anna Kendrick?
Everyone's blaming Anna Kendrick because Desus. Okay, the way it's looking like either the kid Mero is being difficult, and Desus wanted to do some other shit, but then Desus becoming Hollywood Desus, and then doing his thing where he's like off going, living his best life, not having kids. I get it. Yeah. So a picture popped up with him with Anna Kendrick in like someplace European where black niggas from the Bronx shouldn't be, and people were like, "Well, okay, that's kind of peculiar, but here, whatever." Then you find out that they haven't done the podcast since November, and it's like,
what do you mean July. Find out? Anyone who listened to the podcast regularly knew they stopped doing that shit almost half a year ago.
But the rest of us niggas who just watched the show I used to listen to the podcast when they stopped doing the long intro. I was like, okay, whatever. But then I like literally during pandemic, I fell off another podcast because I started focusing on my own shit. So I was just like, I don't, I'm far behind Worry 'em all and don't even know where Joe Budden is right now. And here I am.
I stopped listening to Budden. I stopped listening to Budden when Rory and Maul left because
I jump back every now and then because I miss his voice and his opinion is kind of cool. Like Rory and Maul are kind of like two frat boys talking about shit you don't really care because you're like,
but
Budden's the old man who he does sound very wrong in his takes.
Very much the old man because he's always doing inappropriate shit and getting called out for it and then just saying, "What? I'm just playing. I tried to grab her coochie. I was just joking." Calm down.
Hold on. Don't mix him up with Donald Trump. That's crazy.
Sorry. I made inappropriate advances towards one of my employees on her own show, and then she spoke out about it, and then I made fun of her. Openly in front of everybody. I'll rephrase to the accurate story.
That's better. That's much better.
Yeah.
Back to Desus.
But isn't that performing a Trump?
Yes. I was gonna say it's still similar to Trump if you ask me, but
get a haircut, hippie.
That sounds also like a Trump statement. But anyways. How like right or left or whatever side he's on are you right now? Like
I'm very, very, very far left. So back to Desus and Mero. Yeah, it just seems like I don't know. I don't want to believe it because it doesn't make sense.
It's abrupt. It's very
first
abrupt.
of all, our last show is our last show, and I just happened to watch it. And just listen, look at this. Look at a full circle. How often do they go Derek Jeter on their show for them to come full circle and their last episode be with Derek Jeter?
Yeah.
Fuck that. They planned that. Like, no. Nah. Also them going from like double time weekly from Sunday to Thursday to now just Sunday
once
or
a week.
Thursday. Like clearly something was drying up and they were getting offers somewhere else. And it's not. I don't know. They're pulling something over our eyes and they're gonna come back with something else that's not it. And
I'm wondering if they want to just move online and away from network because they
maybe they could go to Revolt.
But
sorry, go ahead, Dave.
All right, as someone who bit outside looking in type thing, is it a TV show or a podcast that is over?
Okay, so currently it's a TV show on Showtime. It's a late night show that was once a week, then twice a week, then back to once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And at the same time, they were also hosting a podcast called The Bodega Boys. Mm-hmm. That was their podcast that they stopped doing in November.
Mm-hmm.
And now from the reports, they're going their separate ways. And the Showtime show is not canceled, but it's not coming back for the 5th season.
Yeah.
And the podcast has not come back since November. So when people are hearing that they're going their separate ways, folks are expecting the podcast is not coming back. But I mean,
Mero's out here doing full-size run and he's doing other shows. I haven't seen Desus. I'm not blaming
Full Size Run is another podcast.
Full Size Run is like a shoe podcast show that's on YouTube where basically they talk shoes and like if you're anybody you go on that. And I've never seen them do separate shit. Who knows? This could be DJ Envy's fault. Who knows? They might have found out that DJ Envy got a show on Showtime or something and they bounced. Who knows?
Jesus Christ.
Who knows? All I know is that
Envy got a.
I'm just saying Anna Kendrick is appearing in pictures at the wrong time. Now's not the time to be taking selfies with Desus because regardless, any hood rat that believes in that brand is gonna come for your neck, and even though it's wrong and they shouldn't do it, they're gonna do it because they don't know. Because they have no one else.
I mean, for me, if anything, it's more comments on why on earth would Anna Kendrick be the villain of the story?
Not villain, but the Yoko.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Is Yoko not considered? Is Yoko?
No, Yoko's not
Yoko was telling. Whoa.
Well, okay.
In all of the history of the Beatles, the way people have spoken about Yoko and calling people who break up bands Yokos, that's not the villain of the story. Come on.
She was very villain.
She's been the villain of the Beatles breakups since.
She was. When people ask why they broke up, some people just point to her picture. I don't know if that's the best.
Yoko is the villain. Listen, Yoko was simply very artistic, and she simply wanted a plum served in perfume, served in a man's hat, and that's it. That's all she wanted. Okay, she just wanted some artistic direction. This is probably where Anna's probably like, Desus, I mean, Showtime's not really paying you. You could be making more money this way. Beef, boff, boof. I got this dope that you like. Why don't you listen to me?
I'm just saying, this is you calling Anna Kendrick the villain, by the way.
No!
This is you don't get to escape. You can't call someone the Yoko, and Yoko is not considered the villain.
Yoko was trying to get dude to see his full potential. That's it. That's what if you're calling a Yoko someone who's trying to get you to see your full potential, regardless if your boys are going to agree with it or not, I don't know if that's
I agree with the way you're trying to use it, but I agree with everything you're saying because I know Yoko Ono did not break up the Beatles and she's not the reason the Beatles broke up. But as a society, people use the term to imply that
society.
Yeah, we live in a society.
We live in a society of people who
silly
believe that Yoko took him down the dark road. Can I get a oh no?
So what we're saying is that a white girl tricked this guy to break up the duo. Is that
it? No, because Mero is not a white girl's fault because Mero's already married to a white girl. You just say that a guy who's not.
I never said that they had sexual relations.
I
said that a white girl got between things.
I'm saying a guy who is normally just by himself and has a dog probably fucked around and fell in love. And in doing that, he's just like, I don't really need to do this podcast. I'm going to go to the Alps. I don't really need to do this show twice a week. I'm going to hang out with Anna. You know what I mean? Like, it happens. It happens. And in doing that, maybe she tried to make him realize that, hey, you can make more money doing other things. Putting a Yoko to it. By doing that, she does become the villain. But yeah. So,
but
That's what I'm saying.
But like, has he been doing anything since though? Has he been making
I mean,
coins since? Because you're saying Mero was doing stuff, but you said Desus wasn't. No.
Yeah, Mero's doing stuff in like the same vein, so he'll stay in that lane because he wants to work, so he's just gonna try to do something in that lane. I don't know what Desus is doing. I don't pay attention to Desus. Desus just says every Friday. It's Mero Friday. Y'all like, stay out of bookings. That's all he says on.
Doesn't Mero have like 5 kids? He has bills to pay.
Yeah, he's bills to pay, so he can't just be here not doing shit.
Yeah.
He needs to. You know what I mean? Like he needs to pay off.
And that's the thing. You know what? And that's one of the reasons that I don't think they. I understand what you're saying about them potentially not breaking up. I just think that there was one point where I was watching the show and Mero was talking about his kids, and Desus Desus always makes jokes about why he's happy he doesn't have any kids. But he made a comment one time about like being able to do things, and I just remember thinking, I don't see how these two can work together forever if Desus isn't at any point interested in trying to settle down to do the job the same way. Like Mero wants to do this like a day job. Yeah. Like come in, like he wants to do it like a late night host does the Tonight Show. Come in, get your team together, write the jokes, write the monologue, do the segments, do the thing, go on air, do the show.
But that's how they set themselves up for. That's what they literally set themselves up
That's what I thought. But then Desus doesn't seem like that's where he wants to be right now.
I get it.
Because he wants to be out and about and doing what he wants to do.
Right.
He kind of seems like what Rory and Mal are doing, where they're doing their podcast, but then they'll randomly be like, oh, we're going to LA and we're going to do the podcast from a couch in a hotel room for a couple days and have friends come through. Oh, we're going to go over here and do the podcast. Oh, I'm going to go over. Like they're taking their podcast on the road.
I'm with that. I feel like there's rumors of Mero kind of wanting to be more of a homebody and he's quote unquote getting too smacked, which listen, if I have 4 kids and I'm touching 40, 41, the fuck do I want to be on a plane for if I could just do my job here?
Facts.
Which is like to sidebar, I've been going through this with my actual work where I'm kind of like, hey, this is my last 2 weeks. The fuck am I going inside the office for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why am I going to spend more money to work for y'all when I can just do this from here? It's kind of so.
Let me hit that remote. Hit that remote.
So if Mero's thinking, if I could just meet up with the team, hit up Julia, pump out these skits, beef boff boof, get these skits, versus and then being away from my kids and my wife being hella mad at me and this.
Of course.
What am I doing that for? It's just, if it's the same money, if I'm getting like a couple thousand, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So that could be the argument. That could be why they quote unquote separated.
Yeah.
But
I also like
it. But that, although I understand that point, I'm sorry, Brian, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But like, it's a podcast.
No,
it's a TV show.
Showtime. They have the show on Showtime. That's the thing we're talking about.
The podcast ain't making you that much money. It's the Showtime show that's making you money.
Okay.
So you keep the podcast up to keep your brand and you keep the people who are into you and keep that going. But the show is what's getting you that residuals and getting all those people to go back into the pod.
Yeah. I mean, I still think they should have worked out a podcast deal because they are OG podcast energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if they'd wanted to and had put a little bit more focus in the podcast and maybe cut back on some of the silliness. Because you're saying the 10-minute intro, or was it the outro? Which one was the one where they're like, "Desus Mero, the kid," but
AKA it was that one, and that's when I was like, "Yeah, I love that." But then they stopped doing it. I'm like, "What do you do that?"
But it was long,
yeah.
And it's one of those things that if you're trying to get a new person onto a show and you tune in, you're like, "All right, when do we get to the actual jokes?"
See, that's what I hate about the whole. Because if that's what you came up doing and that's what kind of got you that, why am I going to change it for some new fuck?
I mean,
get on board, bitch ass.
People evolve shows. We don't do DTD.
Yeah, we don't do DTD because we did like 300 DTDs. We could always bring back DTD. We never ruled out bringing back DTD.
Oh no, I know.
These guys just cut the intro. And you were talking about if you want to get somebody new to get in, why would you? Because that's the formula that worked.
Yeah.
The hell would I care about your new ass? Your new ass is not going to go ahead and satisfy these 500 old heads who've been.
But your new ass is what the advertisers want, because the advertisers are looking for that new ass and them new ears to come and buy this.
This is why we will never be super huge.
This better help and this what's it called? mattresses and all these advertisements that they keep. Tyso, all these, everyone's throwing ads out every 2 seconds on every podcast. And it's the same companies. All of them are paying the same people. If you listen to a podcast, if I listen to in 1 week, I listen to Bad Friends with Bobby Lee and Santino on Monday. I listen to Trash Tuesdays on Tuesday. I listen to Conan O'Brien. I listen to Larry Wilmore. I listen to all these podcasts. If I listen to them in 1 week, I hear BetterHelp as a sponsor like 9 or 10 times. I don't need your fucking BetterHelp. Y'all need to shut the fuck up with your lazy ass fucking BetterHelp. There has to be someone else who can fucking advertise. Y'all need to fuck with that.
But at the same time, we need to contact BetterHelp and have them pay us because I mean, if they're giving money to everybody.
BetterHelp is the one company that I'd be like, I can't. I hear your ad too much already. I can't. I would take BetterHelp's competitor, who even if they're paying me a little less, just so I could have something different from every other show. Skinny, it's literally every show. It's every show, my guy. Every show.
I'm working on Hasbro, and so and even them, like, what could you really advertise, and how would they like? There's these bigger companies are too bougie because they don't want you know what I mean? Like they feel like, oh well, we can't pay for advertisement because they're too like they feel like they feel like they're dirty if they get in the game with us. Whereas these other companies that are coming up, they have that money to shell out, but then they're gonna go like high school. They're like, oh well, fuck, am I gonna do what you nerds for when I could just mess with the jocks? And the jocks being the popular kids, the people that are like already on. The person who's literally like a famous actress who, I just gonna do a podcast, and you have like 17,000 followers off rip. Versus like grinders.
I mean, Conan O'Brien, and I've said that even when we did our podcast event at Local Legends, I mentioned the fact that there's 2 types of podcasts, and your sound quality will depend on what type of podcaster you are. Your sound quality has to be on point if you're going to be a starting from the bottom type podcast, because that will put you ahead of the other people in your field and on your level. Or you're a celebrity and your sound quality doesn't matter because you're so popular, people will listen to you record in an echoey bathroom with a toilet flushing in the background. And as long as your voice is in the recording, they don't care. Because it's just like, oh my God, it's and I'm getting to hear them talk about all the random shit and I don't care. And it's just, that's what it is. That is exactly what it is.
To be honest, and this is okay. This is kind of like on some communist shit. But not even communist shit. It's just like
that might have to be the title. This is on some communist shit.
No, but like because communism is more or less like everybody kind of nobody's had everybody kind of shares the shit.
Yeah, but that's supposed to be the idea.
But like I feel like we should do the reverse of that, where it's like if you're already established, I'm talking comedian, musician, and a new lane pops up, nigga. You need to stay. You have to stay out of that lane for 8 years. You can't come. You can't come, you can't dabble, you can't go, I'm starting a little new thing with myself and 2 nobodies. Nah.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you in my lane because I'm here grinding and your Kim Kardashian ass is going to pop up and be like, I got a podcast in 30. No.
I definitely
stay in your lane.
I definitely agree that when it comes to content creators, the idea of content creators deciding, I want to be a content creator because I'm already famous and this is just another way for me. It's just like, oh, damn. Okay. I mean, this for some people is their life, but sure.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Like if you just have a spare 35 minutes once a week and have already producers willing to, and that's the other thing. And this is one of the things that I think, again, I understand celebrity culture and Hollywood culture and just fame is an interesting beast, but the amount of people that will give you or do things for you for free because you have money and because you have fame is such an interesting concept to me.
It makes no sense because they don't need it.
Yeah, like I listen to a podcast, a D&D podcast called NADPod, and I love those guys. They're great to listen to, but the amount of times that they talk about people sending them free stuff like, oh, we got another copy of the entire run of Naruto in the P.O. box. And it's not even one. They got another copy. Someone has already sent them the entire run of Naruto to their P.O. box. And then someone else heard that on the podcast and sent it again because there's 4 hosts and wanted to make sure all the hosts have copies.
There's a toy hunter out there. I mean, shouts to Mike the Hunter. There's a toy hunter out there who made his whole shit, and I'm talking a room, if not similar to this, but like close to this, off of him low-key kind of begging people online, being like, hey, if anybody out there had the kindness in the heart, and motherfuckers are send him shit. I'm talking figures, stormtroopers, here, Mike, I love watching your YouTube channel. Here's this fig. And like just free. And you're like, but this bozo ain't doing nothing. He is not doing anything. He's literally out here talking to people about how cheap he is because he can't buy the actual things for retail price. He refuses to, but niggas are just sending him shit. This whole room I bought.
Yeah.
And I surpassed his ass. I came up watching him. I passed him, and I'm still kind of like, how you got all these people sending you them things, man? Because ain't nobody sending me shit. Still,
I mean,
it's called master manipulators at that point.
Well, how often is he? One of the things that I've realized is
he let up a lot. Like since I came with it, he's been like, woo, 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 woo. Like he stopped.
No, but not even just that. How often was he doing his show?
Oh, Jesus, it wasn't of a show. It was like every 2-3 months. Not every month. He'd have a video a month, maybe 2 times a month. You know, go hunting, get figs out at Target, and he just have, and then every time he'd come back with a new video, he'd have like 5 or 6 boxes of people just sending him shit. I even sent him shit. I sent him shit I didn't want, but I sent him shit. I paid the shipping. I sent it to you.
So then the question. So I feel like the question on how this happens is very much an internal question you have to ask.
Yeah,
if you sent some stuff.
No, I sent them one. But this we had to establish a rapport here. But you're not establishing a rapport with 50,000 niggas that follow you on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Okay, that's different. Because at first I was like, well, I mean, if you're contributing to the problem, I mean, you know.
No. I think he got it. I think he got it when the algorithm was good, but still, just to be your idea of you being able to, if you don't have pride, not even pride. If you have pride, but you don't have, what's that word? When you kind of, if you're not prideful enough, you don't care about. Yes, if you're shameless, and you don't give a fuck about asking people for money, shit, free stuff, whatever, and you're all on those like Patreons and this, that, whatever.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Is this Toy Burger in Canada? Absolutely not, Darth. This is Mike the Hunter based in California. You might know him. Southern Cali, but yeah. Toy Beggar in Canada. You never heard of him. Google him, my man. Actually, YouTube him.
That's wild to me to think that someone, because in those situations I always think like there has to be something in the formula that they're doing for people to feel this connection to them and this willing to be like, yeah, I'll send you stuff, because like he must have done something at some point that won these people over to a level that they were just like, I'm just gonna send you this stuff for free.
I don't want to say he pimped his kid, but like at the time his kid was like maybe 4 years old, and he's like, oh, I have a daughter, and he wouldn't really show her, but whatever. Like I don't know. I couldn't really pinpoint anything.
Because I mean, because he has the following.
Oh gosh, yeah. And to the point where now he doesn't even post things on YouTube anymore, and the following's still there to the point where if he posts some shit, it's like gone.
Right, exactly. So,
but I don't understand that. Like it's like, how do you?
He must have. That's it. We don't know the origins of how he built that following, because whatever he did to build that following and build that loyalty is why he could turn around in the time that you started seeing him, and then could see him reap the benefits of the following he had built. Because people don't just show up. Like he didn't just jump up and have 17,000 followers or some shit and just started getting stuff for free. You know what I mean? Like something he did over time.
He has to have like a crazy network web connection. You know what? In the sense of like he's networked himself so much that it's just because when like you see actors and you're wondering how did they get this gig, and you just realize, oh, he knew like a friend of 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 his. That's this guy.
Probably.
All right, guys, that's
17.1k subscribers. Yeah,
that's it. That's why I said 17k, because that
don't make no sense. Goddamn sense.
Wild. Yeah, guys, let's go into View the Right Thing. Let's speaking of 17,000 views, let's talk about something that probably got 17 million views or even more. I don't know how Netflix is doing these days, but with 220 1.6 billion subscribers. They were out here bragging about their Resident Evil show and all the money they've made with all these shows, and their stock was doing well and all this stuff on the quarter.
Stock ain't doing too well, is it?
I don't know. They're always just trying to. They're Netflix is the epitome of fake it till you make it. And I know, and I'm not even saying that to insult them.
You're not.
They know that they're the epitome of fake it till you make it because they were always in the red. Their whole business model is about just buying, outbuying everybody. And then once they're outbuying everybody, they're just like, well, I mean, no one else can compete with us. And then they're just canceling shows because they can't even afford them. So what are we going to do?
It's not nice.
Resident Evil is an example of them buying a property or working with a company and making a show. And it sucks. Oh, Lord, is it bad? I usually don't do...
Really? Oh, no. Another fumble for my boy who's related to the other boy? Hamel?
That was clear.
No.
No. I'm not talking about Resident Evil New Raccoon City or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about... And that's the other thing. This is the other thing I don't understand.
Wait, what? There's another show?
Exactly.
Wait, there's two different TV shows?
Yeah, there's a TV show and there's a movie.
Return. Wow. No.
So Amel's in the movie. I'm talking about the TV show that's on Netflix.
Leave this shit.
That has Lance Reddick.
Lance Reddick. Let's see this shit.
So Resident Evil that takes place in 2022 and 2036.
What?
That's the storyline takes place in 2022, 2036. Is this horror dramedy like I don't think they're trying to be funny, but like they're so stupid that they're funny type show, and you're watching it, and the whole time you're watching, you're just like, y'all are dumb. And it's a type of dumb that's not interesting, and it's a type of predictable that's not fun. Like when you're watching the show.
Whoa!
I have to be honest.
Hold on. That's what people were mad about. They made Albert Wesker a black dude. Why'd they do that?
Who's Albert Wesker?
Lance Reddick. Why'd they make Albert Wesker like the evil of evil Resident Evil? Like he's the main baddie.
But can we?
They made him a black dude.
Why did they do?
But can we add to that? Can we add one thing to that?
Yep.
When the only person on your show that's recognizable is that character who's been on like his fair share of stuff. I personally remember him more from John Wick and Lost.
The Wire.
And I didn't watch The Wire yet. I didn't. We've talked about that before. I'm not gonna get bitched out a second time.
You need to watch The Wire, man.
And
I'm gonna take your black card now. You need to watch that Wire.
No offense to this guy who is a good actor.
Oh, he's a great actor. He's the only good thing on the show.
But when you look at the casting and he's the only person you know, and you know him because you got to see a picture of him.
Rough.
Okay, well, I recognize Lance. So I
don't know. I don't watch The Wire. Fair. I didn't watch The Wire. That's what I'm saying.
I recognized 3 of the actors on the show: Lance Reddick and the 2 actresses who play the Asian girl, Billy. I know both of them. The one who played Billy when she's a kid is from another show that I watched, Good Luck Nick on Netflix. With Sabrina, or who's the original Sabrina? Melissa Joan Hart.
Melissa Joan Hart, yeah.
So she's on that show with Melissa Joan Hart. And then the other girl who plays Billy when she's older, fun, random, weird trivia fact, who was on the Sabrina show, the recent Sabrina show, with Kelly, whatever her name is. So both of them have worked with the actresses who've played Sabrina, which is kind of funny. But those are the 2 actresses that I recognize along with Lance Reddick. One of the things about Albert in the show is spoilers right now before I say this next sentence, because I don't want y'all coming for me in the comments. Spoilers. Get it straight. There's Albert clones himself, and I don't know if that's part of the original Resident Evil lore, but he clones himself and has 4 clones or 3 clones, and he's the original, and the original is the villain. So Skinny, the character you're talking about, you don't actually see that guy. You see him once in one episode for a moment, and then he disappears, and then you hear that he died later on. So you never actually see Albert. You see all these clones who are pretending to be him and living there. One of them is living specifically the story that you see.
The show can go burn.
Yeah, it sucks.
This sounds bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
Albert Al Wesker, Albert Burt Wesker, Albert Albie Wesker. You
exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No.
So there's clones, and yeah, it's bad. It's every decision the characters make is stupid. Every decision is predictable. That like there's one part of the show where a character gets introduced, and then you find out the character's pregnant. And immediately my partner and I were just like, that character is going to die because of this character doing this thing. And within 5 minutes, the exact thing we said happened. And then the character died. And her and I both looked at each other like, man, this show's bad. This is just some bad.
I'm not going to watch it spoil that one. I'm curious what you thought was going to happen and that this happened. So you saw a girl you found out a girl was pregnant?
So the main character in the show, Jade, is trying to figure out how the zombies communicate and how they're evolving. Mm-hmm. So at some point she finally figures out that there can be an alpha zombie. So when she gets the alpha zombie, she wants to test the theory that the pheromone that she creates from the like weird lesion or thing on their neck. It's fucking gross. And she makes a spray, but she needs a zombie to do it. But she lives on a ship that has no zombies. Obviously, there's humans who are living on our ship together in a community. There's no zombies, so she can't test it. And they have to wait to get permission from the council to go get a zombie on land or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Instead, this girl takes a boat, goes out into the water because there's zombies in the water. She just flashes a flashlight, finds one, pulls the zombie on, stabs the zombie with drugs to knock it out. Because you find out that when the zombies are cold, they don't move. So the zombie was cold in the water, and when the zombie started getting warm, it tried to attack her. She stabbed it, and then she zips this zombie up in a body bag, brings it onto the ship, doesn't tell anybody, straps it into the room where she's doing all her scientific tests. Her daughter comes into the room, and of course, as soon as the daughter was there, we were like, okay, so the zombie's going to get out. The zombie's going to knock her down. The zombie's going to go after her daughter, and the zombie's going to run around the ship, and the zombie's going to start killing people. And for sure, the zombie will kill the pregnant woman. And exactly what we said happened. The zombie got loose. The zombie knocked her down. The zombie chased after the daughter. The zombie ran down the hall. The zombie, the little girl runs into the room, doesn't tell anybody there's a zombie behind her. The girl goes, what's wrong? Turns around, and the zombie jumps on her and kills her. And then the pregnant lady's dead. And we're like, well, that's exactly what we knew was going to happen.
Were any of these people of black coloring?
All of them. That's the problem. The main character is black. The daughter is black.
Damn it.
The pregnant lady that dies is Indian.
Oh man, I had this whole home run going with how white people act foolish in horror movies, and they just threw that on its head.
Oh no. Good sir. This show, that's the funny thing. The entire cast of this show
is fully black.
It's like all people of color, which I was just like, this is kind of cool. But then it's so poorly written. It's just like, it's not cool when you take us and just write the worst shit. Like now we know how they feel. Like, you know, all these horror movies that just had starring all these white kids making the dumbest decisions. Black people could at least say, at least we know. Much like Jordan Peele, we would say nope. We would say nope, and we wouldn't do it. We wouldn't go down into the basement when the monsters come into the building. We would try and go out a door outside or anything to escape. We wouldn't, start picking up or go into the room with all the fucking glass china. Like all these movies, every time black people could at least say two things. They kill us off first because they know we wouldn't get into these situations because we would go, nope, and we would walk the fuck out of all these spaces. And instead, they gave us this Resident Evil horror show where every cast member is a person of color, so you didn't have a choice but to be like, sorry, some of y'all are going to have to be dumb. And you're going to have to make all the mistakes. And they made all the mistakes.
We're not the scapegoat for stupidity anymore.
Jeez, damn them rectifying stupid fucking inclusion.
This is the one time that I was just like, it's the same way that someone once posted, yo, wouldn't it be great if Giancarlo Esposito played the Joker? And I wrote, no, I do not want the Joker associated with us. Please, we don't need the Joker to be a black man. We're good.
I'm super cool on that. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like, but it'd be so cool. He'd do such a good job. I'm sure he would. He's an excellent actor. But guess what? I don't need the anarchist psychopath who doesn't believe anyone has any rights and thinks everything should just be allowed to be blown up and destroyed. Needs to be a black guy. I'm good.
Yeah, no, we don't need black people thinking that they can get away with mass
we've been
no, we are.
We've been villainized enough throughout history in movies and TV shows that I'm good on being the Joker.
Yeah, I'm super cool on that.
So wild.
Definitely don't need that. So Resident Evil is a whoop. Don't watch that.
Don't watch it.
Whoop.
Do not watch.
I
rarely say that too. I rarely tell people outright, do not watch a show.
The games are all right, but like I played Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 2, they do dumb shit like, hey, so you want to go downstairs to the weapons room that's right next to the morgue? And you're like,
of course.
No. Like, what? No, I don't. And then you'd be like, you found this random plant. Do you want to mash it up and use it for medicine? It's like, that is weed. You're telling me to smoke weed when there's zombies around. What's going on? If you don't get me out of this police station, no, man, I'm not.
I was never into those, especially like the original ones where it was weird control. Like
you'd have to
press
hold
a button.
R1 to hold your arm up, and then you'd have to press another. It was like Dino Crisis. All those Capcom games were made the same way because they're actually like made difficult so that you couldn't just like press X and run and just like you'd be shooting. They made you have to like think about it because when you have zombies coming at you and you're scared, then you're not thinking, I gotta hold a button to hold my arm up and shoot, and then gotta turn around and run. So yeah, once they went to
you had to
Africa,
press a button to raise your gun and a different one to shoot.
Just like you always like
that was Resident Evil 1
super slow walked, and then you had to press a button to run. But like when you'd run, it was like insta sprint. There was no like
it was, and you like the controls weren't like fluid enough so that analog works. So you'd have to literally like you'd be on an axis. You could easily like run around in a circle, get caught in a corner. Like they did shit to mess with you. So like they did that Resident Evil 1 through 3. And I think Code Veronica, and then I think once they got to it either 4 or 5 where they went to Africa. 4 was on Resident Evil 4 was on that really crappy Nintendo system that I don't want to remember. Cube. It was on Cube. They did 4 and 0 on Cube.
Cube was a failure.
GameCube.
Well, failure, but like I'm not trying to play.
Yeah, it was lame. Like it wasn't the best.
Okay.
And then they did 5 where they went to Africa, and then people started getting a little irate because they started doing some like they introduced co-op in that one, but they also started doing like some craziness where like it wasn't Resident Evil. It was like broad daylight. All the zombies are zombies, but it's also in Africa, and you're like lighting them on fire. People are just like, well, why you got to do all that? Like
it was the experimental game. They're like, well, if we're gonna make 2-player, we may as well buck wild.
That's and they went kind of buck. So yeah.
Oh, like racially buck?
Little racially buck. And then Resident Evil 6 toned it down.
No, all of a sudden you're in Africa and you're lighting all the black zombies on fire.
It was just wild stuff that you could do in that game. I was like, okay, this is not even really, but all right, fine. And then then they made the 6th one that was more of an action game than like suspense horror, and it was really just like action packed, like crazy.
That was fun, though.
Resident Evil 7 was the one that was like you're in a house, and that's when virtual like reality came out, and you could play that with the VR. That shit was scary. Yeah, that shit was not a joke.
I ain't doing that at all. That's something I don't want. No, I'm already not the biggest on the VR. You're not putting me in a zombie.
No. Anyways, Resident Evil.
There you go, folks. Resident Evil. If you want to waste your time, go on over to Netflix and throw money in a trash can. Or better yet, here's a thought: don't watch it. Real talk. I rarely tell people not to watch stuff. You guys know that. I'm usually like, form your own opinion. But I genuinely see nothing redeeming about this show. Not even the action. Lance Reddick is the only good thing. And maybe the Latina woman who plays the boss. That's it. Everyone else, I was just like, I could do without these people. So
Jesus Christ.
And I even like these actors. That's the I felt bad feeling like this watching some of these people because I was like, I actually think you're a good actor, but this ain't it. This ain't it.
This ain't it.
This ain't it.
This ain't it.
I think we all watched it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get to talk about it last week because we did The Boys and Thor specifically.
No.
But Miss Marvel finale.
Woo!
I'll be back. Oh my gosh, I saw that. Oh my god, just talk about.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Like y'all talk about it, and then come. I'll be back for the part that we care about.
Well, wait, did you watch it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I gotta go. Like, you know.
Oh, okay.
But I'll be back.
I was like, what?
I don't understand.
I was like, yeah. Why is he leaving on the good part?
No, that's not the good part. The good part is when you guys get to the end of the episode, and that's when I'm going to be like, ha ha. That part.
Okay.
So I'm coming back for that part.
Crazy finale.
So good. Why do people hate this show? Why are people so weird?
This is not the show for me. What's wrong with you? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Do watching girls on TV make you feel funny? What's wrong? I don't get it. Why are you mad? I don't understand.
Because they're sad incels.
But there are too many incels out here. So we need to talk about society.
It's really simple, Skinny. There's the enlightened and the not enlightened, let's say. The problem is there's one that has very few in comparison to one that has very many. And those very many think that they have power because they have many.
Yeah.
So that needs to stop.
Yeah. They like to talk big game, but don't want to acknowledge the world.
Well, y'all see what I tweeted the other day. The same people who have problems with Reaver are the same people who think Hooded Cobra Commander doesn't look like a clan leader.
Yeah,
I'm in toy groups where people are literally like, that's not a hood. He doesn't look like a member of the KKK. Why won't Hasbro put out a Hooded Cobra Commander? Because it's insensitive.
It looks very...
It looks very much like a clan leader.
Like
it's a blue clan hood.
You're just missing the peak.
It's also based off season 2. Other Grand Wizards wear red and blue all day. If you don't know that, and I know that, then something's wrong. Because
because ultimately, Skinny, they do know that, and they want to. They want the figure, and they're gonna pretend like it's not because of that. They're gonna be like, I mean, it's not that problematic.
It's at the point where people are like taking other figures that have hoods on them and being like, well, how come they put this out? How come they put this out? I'm literally in the group like, yo, guys, putting passively aggressively making memes of other hooded figures and saying that that's a hood and they put out the hood is wild ignorant. And you guys know why. When he was Hooded Cobra Commander, the guy had blue eyes and blonde eye. Like, if that's not Aryan, what are you doing? And I'll be back.
Yeah, incels. fuck incels. We've said it before. We'll say it again. They're weirdos, and their whole bizarre obsession with Chad, Stacy's, and Becky's. Their whole culture is stupid, and I really hope we can figure out how to get rid of them because they're just not good people. They're kind of just a waste of time. But moving on to Miss Marvel,
which was not a waste of time.
Yeah, not a waste of time. And as much as they hate on stuff like this, it is great for some of us who like seeing stuff like this. I loved watching the show. The finale was good. The show did this thing where it slowed down in parts. And one of the things that I didn't mention last week, but that I thought about was Eric Kripke, the showrunner for The Boys, said, who's kind of passively aggressively attacking like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and all these Marvel shows because they've been saying that these are extended movies, right? They're saying like, oh, this is a 6-part movie. This is an 8-part movie. And he was just like, listen, these aren't movies. Stop saying that. This is television. And he kind of went at them for a bit. And I found it funny because I was just like, but homie, what you're doing isn't a movie, and no one's saying you have to create TV that way. But what they're doing is a extended long movie divided into parts.
Yeah.
Like
it's their choice of style.
Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's a movie.
Yeah, it really was.
That's an extended movie. Like those cutscenes, like those episodes end that in a way that if you cut to the next scene, that's a movie. It's one continuous story. So I don't see why it's a problem for people to be doing like that. And Miss Marvel is kind of a pseudo crossover. It's part long movie, part like TV show, the way they cut it.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it. I like that there was different. It was a little different compared to usual. Obviously, because they finally decided to delve into like another and you know what? This is the first time they've actually delved in a culture other than, Black Panther and whatnot, because I guess a little bit with Black Widow, like they had like certain Russian things there, but like seeing them go for that was really, really nice. I like how they tied it to history. and whatnot. I do like that they made it very clear that it's gonna be, this is definitely part of the movie verse with how the ending was. I like that. The one thing, and again, it was different is good, but one thing that I kind of got, maybe it's because we're used to it, like the fact that there wasn't an actual, like a real villain, let's say, like, you know what I mean? Usually origin stories have, like, this is because essentially this is a long an extended movie of her origin.
Yeah,
basically.
Okay.
And you don't need to have an evildoer to have an origin story. You know, you did have protagonists, or sorry, antagonists, because protagonists is a good antagonist, bad guys.
You
did have antagonists that made the story move forward, because that's obviously those who were trying to go back to the other realm and whatnot.
The Jinn.
But yeah, the Jinn. But they weren't necessarily evil. Like, even through the whole show, I'm like, if you sit for a moment and look through their perspective for 2 seconds, they're not trying to hurt anyone in reality. They just are saying, where the fuck were you? Well, we want to go home. But obviously we know that they ultimately want to take over our universe as well, right?
Well, for me, it's more a factor of, like, I agree with you. They were fine to not hurt anybody, or at least they were good at pretending they didn't want to hurt anybody. But as soon as it came to, which was weird for me, because she didn't say she wasn't going to help them. And it's only because the son goes and tells her, oh, you're going to essentially burn her energy in creating this portal. And then he was just like, no, we can't kill her. Mm-hmm. That's when you find out, like, oh, they're willing to sacrifice one person to be able to portal through back to their home. But I understand, again, I do kind of understand what you're saying, in the sense that, like, if you've been stuck somewhere else this whole time and you have to sacrifice one person to be able to get back home to your home that you've been wanting to get back to since the partition in India in 1940 something, and it's now 2022. 80 years you've been living on this planet trying to figure out, how the do I get home? I kind of get being like, this 16-year-old bitch ain't gonna stop me. No offense.
Yeah. You're the ancestor of the person who screwed us over. I don't feel so bad.
Two generations.
You.
Two generations. I'm throwing your ass under a bus.
You know,
they didn't think that through.
The cut is fresh.
I agree.
Like, you know, the cut is pretty fresh.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, we were here for thousands of years and it's you. It's like, you look exactly like her. Fuck you. Like, I want to go home.
Yeah,
so
but
I get it.
Skinnies, go ahead.
Would they not have thought of, hey, is this way that we think we're going to get home the actual way to get home?
Yeah. See, that was interesting.
Because they didn't think that through. What if, like, they legit, they're like, hey, there's a portal. Death.
Yeah. I did not understand that.
You idiots didn't think that through? No, you didn't try. What?
Like, you didn't decide to test it, like with a ball and string.
You've been here 80 years. Niggas don't do no research.
Yeah.
You just thought, hey, we're gonna find the person with the bangle, and we just gonna pop this door open. We're gonna be okay. 80 years, things have changed. You didn't want to do any kind of research, no kind of balance check, nothing.
Yeah.
Nope.
Somehow to communicate with the other side, because maybe the other side put up security. Maybe
I know
what was blocking.
If I haven't been back to my hood in 80 years, you know I'm doing a check to see if I'm even allowed to come back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to call somebody.
Yeah. Hood check.
You got no way to check. You got no way to do a hood check and check anybody on the clandestine side. Which funny, I love how they did that. Someone on the clandestine side just trying to not let us back. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Whatever.
That's whatever.
Wild, but factual.
But I liked that the family drama was also kind of squashed at one point. Like, it's not going to be like the next season or whatever. It's not going to be more of like they know, so she like that, because I find that's a drama I'm a little bit over with in regards to things like, you know,
hiding your
like, you know, not everyone needs to be Peter Parker. Like, you know,
I gotta say though, I was shocked that
everybody should be Peter Parker.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit more of the mind that it's good to protect your family, but I also do get that it would be almost impossible. It's one thing to be a 16-year-old white boy in your room being Spider-Man versus a 16-year-old South Asian girl whose parents are like, her dad still checks on her when she's sleeping in the middle of the night. And like, there's a lot of things where it's just like, I understand in the writing, they're addressing the fact that culturally she would not have been able to hide this the same way Peter Parker could have hidden this for years with Aunt May.
It's like one, like, I only have one person who really cares about me and looking out for me other than whoever friends I may have.
Right.
Versus like I have a full house, a family, and a whole community that would check on me.
Yeah.
Might not be a full house for a long time though.
Okay. Well, you just gonna spoil it like that?
We gonna spoil like what? Nah, what are you talking about, man? If you read the comics, her mom and brother, they dead, bro.
I know. Well, I mean, that's what I was saying.
How does that happen?
They don't even really kind of tell you. They're just kind of not there. So I would say if this gets to season 2, or if they're looking for some dire shit to happen in the Marvels, Mama gonna die.
I feel like that would be a really rough story too, especially after the connection that she made with
punch
mother.
Right there. That's
brutal. That would be really brutal. But I mean, could be interesting because I will say this about the show: this is one of the easiest coming of age, coming out superhero stories of all the superheroes. Like Batman's story is parents die, I end up. I grow up in the darkness. Superman, my whole planet dies. I end up in the darkness. Flash, my mother dies. I end up being the Flash.
Spider-Man, my parents
die. My uncle dies. I end up being Spider-Man. Wonder Woman, I'm not even real. I'm of clay made by the gods and a servant stuck on an island with no concept of society. And the only reason I leave is because man has continuously been doing war and I now need to try and help them stop with their stupidity. And then you have a 16-year-old girl who just puts on a bangle and is just like, whoa, I have powers. And that's it. That's her story. She doesn't have like this really traumatic, wild story that she goes through. Like you were saying, there's no major villain for her at first. It's very much just a protagonist, her, and an antagonist of characters that she deals with. And then I think, like you're saying, the superhero journey, Joseph Campbell, for all the nerds out there who know about the hero's journey and whatnot, call to action and everything, they might kill off the parents to start off her hero's journey, like the next level of her hero's journey.
But I'd be, I'm not saying would be surprised about it, because already Disney has proven that they would show death in their stuff, like or at least the Marvel side of Disney, right?
I mean, even Star Wars side, but
exactly. So I don't
actually know, even all of Disney. Bambi's mom, Mufa, like we've seen them kill parents off pretty regularly.
They're really good at doing, like, no one died, but there's a building crashing down behind you. They're really good at doing that. They're really good in that. Like there was no one in that building or in those cars that it trampled over. They're good at doing that, but maybe because it would also make it more drama if they choose to change the style of the show. Because one thing about the show, unlike the other shows beforehand, and even unlike most of the movies, except for apparently Thor: Love and Thunder, this was obviously very directed at youth. Obviously, like this was like very much like obviously there was obviously certain cultures that were directed to be like, hey, we want to include you too, and like that's cool, obviously. But like,
I mean, it's about time.
It is about time as well. But like this was very much like teens and like 6-year-old, like 6 to 16-year-old. That's the direct audience that you're going for in that one, which is cool. It's
colors, like neons, like
fancy thought, like, oh, she's thinking how I would think and things, and I would be bored listening to this person too. Like like it was
and like really nice colors on the wall and like all the art and all that stuff.
In which case, I don't mind that at all, because one thing I would hope and it's like the team up movies, you should have like a specific style, like what all the Avengers have been. But like, I like have the kids show, have also like, whichever show would take this over, probably Winter Soldier and Falcon there. They have, the spy game, and then you're going to have the magician game. And like, I like if the one thing I've noticed in this specific phase is they're starting to make very true that this character is for this niche. This character so far is for this niche. The only character that was very broad was Thor, which is that speaks to Thor's comic books. He's a very broad character.
And even then, I still think Thor was more geared towards a younger audience or a newer audience than he was for old heads. But
but like I like that Disney seems to be going like to try and do that, because obviously, especially if you look at madness there, whatever, multiverse madness. It was clearly like their way of saying this is us horrors we're gonna go, but this is a horror film technically, right? So I like that they're setting up the boundaries and whatnot. Will they keep it going this way? Who knows? But at the end of the day, I do think overall it was worth a watch.
Very much. Well written, well acted, well directed. Cinematography is great. The scenery, the lighting, every aspect of the show.
The dialogue.
Dialogue.
I will give a big shout to the dialogue because usually when it comes to superhero films,
especially teens type stuff, a lot of it, even like I know I'm older, so I'm probably not supposed to connect with how these characters are talking on the same level as a teen would because I am not that age anymore, and even if I've lived that experience, I lived it in a different decade. So the culture is very different. But even with all that, I still was able to enjoy it because it was well done.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know if where Skinny is, but obviously the end where she switches places with Carol is obviously, or at least that's
Danvers, what. But Captain Marvel.
But the question becomes now. First of all,
well, wait, no, that's not even what he's talking about. But we'll go back to what he's talking about because I know exactly what Skinny's talking about.
But my question here is that did they switch?
They must have switched. Yeah,
because Ken. Okay, there's Captain Marvel and there's Miss Marvel. Can Miss Marvel do that?
No. That's not that. I think that's a exterior force that caused them to swap places. Okay. Are you one of the people that thought for a second that she changed bodies?
No.
Okay,
no.
Because I know I've seen online some theories where some people were saying that they think Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, switches bodies. Not switches bodies, but
like
somehow
a Freaky Friday type
like thing? A Freaky Friday. So her mind is inside of Carol Danvers' body, and that's why what we saw was that switch. So she's
what does Carol say? Does she say anything when she's?
Well, yeah, she looks around the room, looks at herself, and she's just like no, and then she's just like in shock. And I think it had more to do with the fact that she swapped places, not that she switched minds with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean,
let's hope because that would be bad. That I would not like. Because hypothetically speaking, like example, one of the things that are going to eventually come, which is that was a big thing. Obviously, mentioning mutants, that she was a mutant was.
Well, that's what I was going to wait for Skinny because I know that's specifically what he's talking about when he says the end.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, motherfucker.
Ninja Vanish, he goes. Anti-Ninja Vanish. So I like that they're mentioning it. I was surprised with her. I don't know if she's actually a mutant.
I have a whole thing on this. I have a whole thing on this.
But so I'll say just my one point, and then you could jump into that. Is that I hope they don't do it as a mind thing because already, like this was hinting at mutants. If they are going to bring the X-Men in, like I'm expecting at some point in time, the best way if Disney wants to either write out or just do a good story arc in general, I'm hoping that you're going to see Rogue in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and grab Danvers and do the whole I'm going to make you fucking pass out shit. You know what I mean? I want that to happen. So I don't want there to be a body switch because if you do a body switch, you're going to fuck up them wanting to do that story arc.
Yeah.
And that story arc is way better than Freaky Friday.
Well, we're just saying that the swap that Carol and Kamala do, some people thought was a Freaky Friday swap and not a physical swap.
It's negative zone. She's in negative zone.
Yeah, I'm more of that mind that
it's the negative bands where like when Captain Marvel would come through, he would swap and he'd end up in the negative zone. Beef bop boof. This is leading to a nihilist. I'm just gonna, anyways.
Interesting. Okay.
Do
you think they're gonna bring in Doom at some point though?
Doom's for Black Panther. We're not dealing with Doom. Doom's gonna be Black Panther.
I saw those rumors too.
Doom is Black. I just saw the rumors. Anyways, Doom is gonna be Black Panther probably. And what I'm gonna say about this is that hell yeah, this is what they wanted to do. Except for they didn't own X-Men and that shit at the time. Some motherfuckers had to devote to the goddamn Inhumans. And Inhumans, not that they suck.
They suck, Skinny. They suck a lot.
They don't suck.
They don't suck. Just nobody cares about the Inhumans.
I'm the only one who likes the Inhumans. I'm okay with that.
They're cool. Like they're cool. They got when Fantastic Four depicted them,
They're the Wildcats of Marvel. All right,
like Wildcats are good.
Exactly my point. But they're the wild. Exactly. You both like them. They're good. But do they sell and do they make anything good out of them?
Have you read a Wildcats comic?
I love Wildcats. What are you talking about?
But like, have you read the comics?
A few times, the original ones back in the day, but I don't own any of them. I haven't I've gotten all the Grifter that came out.
So you know how long that. Anyways, I won't get into.
Yeah, it's a long fucking. Anyways.
So what they're doing with this, because people are like, oh, she wasn't a mutant originally. Shut up. That's all I gotta say to you guys. Shut up.
I'm one of those people, damn it.
Shut up.
I just
Wait, so she's not a mutant. So she's not a mutant.
No, I think she is a mutant now.
She's 100% a mutant because they're identity swapping her. They're either doing what they originally wanted to do in the comics but could not, which is why in order to make the Inhumans popular, they made Kamala an Inhuman, and then at that time, soon after, they started doing Death of X and all that stupid Terrigen Mist shit, killing off Multiple Man, Cyclops, X-Men versus Inhumans, stupidity, dumb things.
Yeah,
what they
I agree that was I would agree that was a dumb era in the comics.
That was
super dumb era. Like, oh my gosh, super horrible era. So what they want to do now is, okay, we can't make her an Inhuman because everybody remembers Inhumans as that one flop that we have. Yes, people will say Internals, but everybody will say that Inhumans is the guaranteed one flop that we had. So we're not gonna shut up, Dave.
Dave is so excited when we shit on the Eternals.
It's such a good movie, man. I just wish you had the capacity to understand it. Oh man, just wish you had that capacity to understand it. So
you just don't connect with the characters, Dave.
Don't connect with the characters.
I like a lot of the characters, but I didn't need Superman ripoff, or at least perceived as we're just gonna shove in your face that we could do Superman better. I'm not being dragged into this.
I'm not being dragged into this. That's what he's supposed to do. Anyway,
yeah, it's a yawn fest, Skinny. It was a yawn
fest.
Movie. How many times did I check my watch? When you look at your watch and you're determining, like, wow, that second looked like it went backwards. Yeah, you got a bad movie.
Maybe you should go watch another Red Hood movie. Oh wait.
You mean like something like the Red Hood animated movie, which is so much better than this trash god?
You're gonna keep talking about that 2008 movie, huh? You just
have
to let that movie.
He really does bring up this animated film like it's an
LVO. You know what? I will reread.
Do you forget how they ended that
have the
DC
Red Hood
universe?
comic book here. I would rather reread that book
for
5 times over.
I will
watch that movie again.
Eternals is a good movie. So, anyways, they're pushing this to be that she is going to be the catalyst of introducing her to mutants. Whether they're already here or they've been here, we're gonna find out through Kamala, and that's dope.
Are you okay?
That's super dope. However,
you're okay with the first mutant that we know of. Other than because Falcon and Winter Soldier had a few mutant nods, but we don't know that they were mutants.
But people always like, oh yeah, we have the first mutants, so on and so forth. But bro, like 3 months ago, people realized that Scarlet Witch was a mutant. Like, what is wrong with people? Wanda's a mutant. Wanda's the first mutant. They told you.
Yeah,
she's a mutant.
Yeah,
they literally told you that.
Her,
She's been had these powers since before. This Stark thing didn't do nothing. It just amplified them. Wanda's a mutant. We've been told you without actually telling you. With this X-Men song, this is them telling you, no, you're gonna get them soon. Soon come.
Yeah.
Wanda was the first mutant announcement. What they did with Kamala was like, soon come. Just relax. Soon come. Don't start shitting on Phase 4. It's coming. Just chill.
I'm still shitting on Phase 4 though. I still have to shit on Phase 4.
I have no problem with
start of Phase 5.
I have no problem with Phase 4 because Phase 4 right now is just like what Phase 1 was, which we didn't know what.
Right, which is what we said last week.
Thing as Eternals or Black Widow in Phase 1, my friend.
You sound like an insult, dog.
No, that sounds like bad movies, bro.
How are they bad movies?
That suck.
No, Dave. Are they movies that sucked, or are they just movies you didn't like?
Thank you. I was just about to say, they're not movies that suck, Dave. They're movies you don't like. Not everyone thinks they suck, and they made good money.
Boring and long.
Are they movies that suck?
Black Widow had no purpose and
they made money. They made money.
If you shit on Justice League, you have to shit on Black Widow.
I don't.
Period.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
Dave, are
No,
you
I
kidding
don't.
me?
They have the same problem.
Dave,
they don't
stop,
have an
Dave,
identity.
stop,
they
Dave,
put
stop.
improper comedy everywhere
Dave,
through that.
They
Dave,
have an
movie.
identity
Dave.
in which the main character
crap.
has previously
have
died
to stop.
saving the world,
Yeah.
and this is just for in between. They didn't even have to do this movie. They
And
did
they
this movie
shouldn't
as a
have.
fan service,
They
and
should
they're
have
like,
done
"Hey,
the movie earlier. It's not a
yeah,
fact that they
that's
should
the
do
only
that.
beef. They should have done the movie
Yeah.
earlier. That's the
There
only
was
beef.
horrible writing
bro,
all over that movie.
With what happens in Black Widow, you would not have got a Yelena, which means you would not have got her in Hawkeye, which means you're not getting Thunderbolts. What are you talking about? Most of Thunderbolts is based off of shit that Black Widow did.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop right now.
Yeah, Dave is writing a little too hard for this.
You don't
Black
have
Widow
Hawkeye.
hate.
You literally don't have Hawkeye to show without the Black Widow movie. What are you talking about?
You could have
What are
made
you
it
talking about?
any other villain, Skinny.
And without,
you
but
could have
wait,
written
wait,
a villain.
Let's really do the math. Without the Black Widow, without Hawkeye having something to avenge and be sad about, without Yelena coming after his house and realizing, hey, we can actually be friends. You know who you don't have? Motherfucking Kingpin. Motherfucking Echo. Motherfucking Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Stop.
First of all, Daredevil was in Spider-Man first.
Bro, you know he's gonna be an Echo. You know that. And who was
so Kingpin and Daredevil are completely off your thing.
Oh, Dave,
like,
do you want me to counter and show you how you're wrong? Which character?
I'm not even trying to show you how you're wrong. I'm just literally trying to show you how you need Black Widow.
Dave, can you tell me, out of the Daredevil series, where was the first appearance of a Daredevil character in the new MCU?
I don't know. I don't care about Daredevil that much.
What are you talking about? It was Kingpin in Hawkeye. Fuck you for acting like you don't know.
What do you mean? He was in Spider-Man first.
No, Kingpin wasn't in Spider-Man. I'm talking about Kingpin appearing in
Matt
Hawkeye.
Murdock was in Spider-Man first.
Not before Hawkeye.
Didn't he come out first? And if it
around literally the same week.
Dave, do you want us to take you out so you can do your research first?
No. I just want to. My point is, regardless if he was there or not, you could have had Daredevil in that movie, which you know that Kingpin's in the universe. That's all I was trying to say.
I'm gonna act this out for you.
So we have
he's saying because I'll give you like the Yelena, and I'll give you that Yelena is the reason why there was a better story arc in Hawkeye. That I have no problem with. But if you're telling me that
but you don't have Yelena without Black Widow, which is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, I know, but you guys then went a step further and said Kingpin, and I disagree with that statement.
You wouldn't have had Kingpin without Hawkeye.
You wouldn't
have Hawkeye without Black Widow.
You would have had him pseudo the fact that Daredevil was in the Spider-Man movie, which means that they're in the universe.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have
and
only
you could have tied it any other way.
You only brought in Kingpin to deal with the fact that he was the one that killed Echo's father. Echo was the only one featured in Hawkeye because she thought it was Ronin.
Dude, yeah.
Ronin only exists because of what happened.
Dave. You're trying
we could talk about this. I would prepare with better notes to have this conversation. If
I might come back next week defending why Black Widow is a movie you need, and like
I prep your argument. That movie's useless.
Anyway, so what's going to happen with this girl?
But we can establish in the grand scheme of Marvel, nothing Marvel does is useless. Let's acknowledge that, because even the movies we don't like,
technically useless. We didn't already say that.
But that doesn't even count as
not really, because without that, then
show.
You wouldn't have had Black Bolt to establish as him. Like, without having Inhumans doing what Inhumans did, then you would not even know who Inhumans were, and then you couldn't have Black Bolt in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which is basically setting up a war.
And again, any
which is
other
essentially
superhero.
Hold on, let's skip that. Inhumans isn't an MCU show, so fuck that. As much as I love Inhumans, the point is Marvel Studios has never made something without having a plan for it to connect. Can we agree?
Agree.
I never countered that. I'm just saying I still didn't think it was the most
literally
useful.
Tried to counter it by saying
I said whether or not it was
Marvel Studios.
I said whether or not they were good movies that should be in the U.
But
he did say that.
Yes, and I'm saying that every movie they made needs to be made. And whether or not you like Black Widow or the Eternals, those exist, they're canon, and there are fans who liked it.
I never disagree that there's people who like bad movies.
Yeah, but you said that it doesn't.
You know what I want to know?
I like bad movies.
No. You know what I want to know?
Exist. That's what I'm saying.
This has been my gripe with folks. All right. And this is no diss. But how do you guys feel so confident that your definition of a bad movie
is a bad movie.
Right. No, but I'm saying,
what masters did you get?
What did any of our masters get to talk on this podcast?
I actually do have a degree in communications with a sub-degree in that focus on interpersonal communication, and did all the film studies classes where I actually learned about all this stuff. So when I say Black Widow as it's shot, written, and developed is solid, I'm doing so as someone who's studied that stuff and actually knows this stuff.
Strong term.
See,
you're telling me that movie was clear about whether it was a spy movie, a family movie, or a comedy?
It was a spy movie that had family elements.
Horrible comedy throughout the whole thing.
Do we want to talk about your favorite Die Hard? That's an action film.
I said I love bad. I already said I like bad movies.
I'm just gonna get back to this.
So we're calling Die Hard. Wait.
Nope.
I just want to confirm.
Some people think that Die Hard's a bad movie.
Die Hard's a bad movie.
But at the same time,
hey, no.
Everyone thinks something's a bad movie.
I'm happy calling Die Hard a bad movie. Cool.
You can. You've said it 1,000 times, Brian.
Oh, no, I never said it was a bad movie. I said it's not a Christmas movie.
You've implied more than enough times you didn't like it.
I said it's not a Christmas movie. I didn't say it was a bad movie.
Which will you agree that it was a holiday movie, though?
It is a holiday movie. It's not a Christmas movie. But it's also...
I don't know why we're starting this gripe.
I'm just saying, you're throwing out things you don't like. We're having conversations to establish a precedence for future conversations.
That's perfectly fine. I still don't think it was a real well-written movie.
That's
you could say that there's elements that were important. I'm not saying that there weren't elements that there weren't connecting elements. You're telling me that it was a well-written movie. I disagree.
By all means, that's the point of the show.
I'm Kamala Khan.
Back to the one that was written well.
Miss Marvel.
That was
she's a mutant. She's gonna be a mutant. She's a mutant now.
But, so we don't know what her mutant ability is, though. Do we?
But we don't. It's probably the Nega band, the cosmic band, the band that's gonna break, that she's gonna end up not needing in the sequel to Marvel because something's gonna happen. She's gonna end up be able to use her powers without it. They kind of have to, because if she finds the other band, then what?
Because that band
super.
The only thing that sucks is that band is important. They do a whole story about it in her 2016 what year was it? 2016 run. They do a whole story about it in 2016. Her Civil War 2 crossover story is about how the bands survived the partition and got all the way through her family. And she wears them to school and stuff. Like the first time she meets Bruno, she's wearing the bands and stuff. But like, it's a big part of who she is in the comic book. So that's why I'm like, I hope they don't. If you're gonna introduce the bands as the thing that gives her powers, but then change it into she's a mutant, you can't just get rid of the bands. Depower the bands.
Yes, that's what they do. They will over time. So they'll depower these bands. They'll give them to somebody else, so on. But then what people are wondering, which most likely what will happen, which I went and did this on Twitter years ago, and a Captain Marvel tweet, like, Twitter account debunked it. So I'm gonna say you to this Captain Marvel account. Hi, I'm a Kamala. I'm trying to figure out what I am, who I am, so forth. Bruno ain't here. What am I gonna do? Hi, my name's Rogue. Hello, sugar. I'm a mutant. I can maybe help you figure that out. Just
for those of you who are listening to the podcast, Skinny is legit holding a Miss Marvel and a Rogue action figure and acting this out. By the way,
you just gotta come with me, because I'm just trying to figure out my powers too. Why do you wear gloves? Oh, I can't touch nobody.
Remind you guys to watch us on Twitch.
Oh, that's weird that you can't touch nobody, but that's okay. I have this other friend named Carol Danvers. She just body swapped with me. We're trying to figure out how and where we are, whatever, whatnot. Oh, that's a cool looking person.
I don't know this person at all.
I have no idea who Carol Danvers is. Well, maybe I should go ahead and find my friend. You might want to meet my mom. Her name's Mystique. She will show you really how to use her
that is wild that you're connecting so many things, but that would be crazy. Because because then you know what I'm saying, and then Rogue's like, look at them powers. Kamala, get away from that girl. She evil. What you mean? Drain. All right, drain. And then we have Carol Danvers is a coma. Kamala feeling guilty because she got her mentor all fucked up. Yeah. Here comes Photon, like, bitch, what you do? Knock her out.
And then Rogue comes back later being like, well, shit, I don't know what I did. I done took this girl's powers. I have her thoughts in my head. She be screaming at me. What do I do? Professor X, help me.
Oh my God. Skinny's walking out the building, folks.
I'm just saying, like it doesn't have to go that way.
Yeah, no. But I mean,
they wanted to. And what do you
you're writing a pretty good outline. You are writing a good outline.
What are you playing that song for if you're not going to do that?
Yeah, you are writing a good outline. Miss Marvel to Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel to Rogue introduction, to Captain Marvel showing up, to the power swap, to the power pole drain, to introducing Mystique, to introducing Professor X. That's pretty solid. Like the line that you are creating makes sense if you're a fan, and if you're not a fan, you're definitely it works.
It also takes out OP Carol Danvers out for a minute. Yeah. It allows her to do whatever else she needs, try to get powers or powers back, blah, blah, blah. She can go into space. She can become binary. She could do whatever. Yeah. And then you don't have an OP Carol Danvers. And if anything, if they want to just not have Captain Marvel and get rid of Brie Larson, hey, you guys, I just gave you your exit.
Yeah.
Duh. Because they have that's one thing I'm expecting, that's going to be, because you could, like, if the rumors that they find it difficult to work with Brie Larson, the easiest way to replace her is put her in a coma.
No, I don't even want to talk about that rumor, because that rumor is bullshit. It's started by the incels. No incel rumors here.
Oh shoot!
Fuck the incels.
I didn't know that. I didn't know these factors.
But they could.
That looks like you're doing a Triforce. Please stop that. If you can insult them as much as you want, but don't do that.
What's a Triforce?
It's a rock.
This is me saying fuck the incels.
No, but they could easily get rid of Danvers like that, or at least power her down for a minute. Have Rogue be guilty, go through all the motions, leave whatever. No, because that was not the Brotherhood. She was part of what's called that other team that Mystique.
The Morlocks.
No, it was a government-funded team that Mystique had, and then it had like her, Pyro, Avalanche, all them doing mutant stuff. And then I can't remember the exact team name, but Rogue was a part of them before she went over to Professor X. Is like, listen, I did something messed up. I don't know how to control these powers. I can fly now. I got super strength. Can you help me? And then because I'm telling you, they did not play that riff for nothing. You don't play the and just for nothing.
I wonder how many people who are new fans researched that.
This will be your last thought, though, because we do have to move to the next segment, because I just saw the time.
Yeah. No, it's because like one thing when I was watching this, I was watching with my partner. She saw me geek out when that happened. For obvious reasons. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, oh, child. And then I explained. I explained what it was. And like, she's like, obviously interested. But at the end of the day, one thing, and we can discuss this on another show, I'm just curious, the debate of, in regards to TV show or movie or combination, how should they actually form the X-Men team? We could keep that for another discussion.
They're already formed, but they've been through some shit. If I get lucky, the where they pick up is gonna be like 1980s Mark Silvestri type shit. Like literally
right Blue Team Gold Team?
No. Fuck Blue Team Gold Team. I'm talking about right before Fall of the Mutants, 80s era, Mutant Massacre, Morlocks dying, and then when we finally get to their movie, it's like Blue Team Gold Team. The end of that one. But yeah.
For next week, one of the discussions, who are you casting for Rogue in this hypothetical that Skinny has come up with? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it next week. And then we're going to read off these headlines as we sign off.
Drain.
Sony is shifting Madam Web out of summer 2023 and moving it to October 6, 2023.
Yeah,
because Madam Web sounds like a whole mess with everyone they're casting.
It's going to sell. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Fake accounts fueled the Snyder Cut online army. That came out in Rolling Stones. At least 20% of the posts on social media were found to be from bots. That's 1 in 5 for the Snyder Cut, and restore the Snyderverse and release the Snyder Cut. So that is pretty bad if you ask me.
Damn, Snyder, you did that yourself.
Wild. DC Comics Blue Beetle wraps production in Puerto Rico. They're done.
That's racist. Why did they make the movie in Puerto Rico?
Oh, I thought you were saying it was racist how I said it. I was like, I was just trying to.
No, it's because he's Latino, and then they made the film that you're gonna film it. Anyways, no.
Thor: Love and Thunder has the biggest drop of a Marvel movie ever from week to week. And weekend number 2, 68% drop. Now, I will say COVID cases are spiking.
Yeah,
So
again?
So I don't
That old
know.
chestnut?
So I don't know if that's a factor, but COVID cases are pretty high right now. So I don't know if people are avoiding theaters. That
I think
might be a partial reason.
I think it's the divide that it's not a clear yes. So people might not want to necessarily, they might be just waiting for the free version.
I mean, I already know what happens, so I'm super chill on going to rushing to see it in theaters. Like I waited for Thor Ragnarok, I can wait for this one. But also, it's another incel game where, hey, what? A female's Thor now? Ah!
I hate those guys too because it's just like, guys, read the comic. There is Mighty Thor. This is a storyline that's in there. Why would you?
Those guys.
Did she also have cancer in it, though?
Yes, exact same story. She has cancer.
Like they did it to the T. I didn't think they were gonna do
that's
it.
The part
and
that's
I love the fact that they did it. I was like, whoa, y'all did it? Cool.
Yeah, like you guys are mad at a story that is literally the exact same.
Hella mad I bought that toy though.
Then that's stupid.
Yeah. So mad I bought the toy. The Jane Foster Thor. I have a whole rule about MCU figs. I'm not buying you if you die.
Well, she's not dead.
I mean,
she's
not really.
If she's in the end credit scene, she ain't dead.
Yeah,
like I'm saying that out loud.
If you show her in the post-credit scene, they showed Heimdall, they showed her. Those characters to me exist in the MCU still. Somehow, some way, they will be there.
On some form of plane of some form of existence. They're there.
Exactly.
That counts.
Raphael Cassell joined season 2 of Loki, which I think is in production, and The Boys spin-off titled Gen V expected to drop in 2023. Guys, that's everything. That's the whole show. We went a little crazy. Dave's a little crazy. We're gonna have to debate a little bit more next time because he has some opinions that I think are questionable. But that's okay. He's allowed to, folks. That's the whole point of the show.
Opinions are allowed.
Opinions. That's the point of the show.
If you guys could shit on Dan Harmon for like 2 years straight,
for sure.
Where is that nigga right now, by the way? How is he doing?
He's doing another cartoon out there. And I'm like, God, they're giving him more shit. Why would you let someone
more shit?
Like, just stop. Anyways, fuck Dan Harmon. As always, guys, that's the show. Always a pleasure. Skinny, anything you want to tell the people to check out?
Follow me on Action Figgy Skinny on IG. Reviews going up, all that good stuff. Check out Chop Vision. We out here, and Sundays at 7. That's all,
guys. And I know no one wants to hear it, but y'all might want to start wearing masks again. I know the government won't tell you, but cases are high, hospitalizations are high. This is for Montreal, Quebec, Ontario. Those numbers are popping. So
popping?
Yes, popping. Like strains that affect kids more than any other strain, stuff like that. Popping.
Oh damn! Looks like Kenny's got to work from home tomorrow again. Damn.
Yeah, so some of y'all might want to. Someone stop. Put that mask on, son. That's it. That's how we're ending.
Put that mask on, son. Oh, it's mama say, mama son.
That's what I was hearing.
Yeah, he did that. Put that mask on, son. That was great. How you did that. Nice.
So that's the whole show, y'all. Peace, everybody. Take care.
That was great. So